Hello everyone, my name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are your Bourbon Journey.
Welcome to episode 5 of Bourbon Trail Tales and Tastes. For our 5th episode, we take you to Heaven Hill Distillery. And if you've been following along, this is the same weekend as our first 4 episodes, but we did this one on Sunday, April 24th in 2022. Wayne, what do you remember about that day?
Well, the one thing I do remember is the fact that we were indoors and it wasn't hot.
That was a theme for sure on Saturday, wasn't it?
Saturday was hot. So, but fortunately with Heaven Hill, pulled up to the property, saw the rick houses around, which is really cool, and walked inside.
There was that neat truck outside too, and they still have that, which is, I think we took a picture by that.
I think we did, and then we walked inside to go ahead and do our adventure. And
it was called You Do Bourbon. They still have this experience today, and as a matter of fact, when we were there in December, we did it again. So You Do Bourbon is very interesting. They take you into a room and they kind of explain the science of tasting if you haven't done it before. And there's typically, it's 4 options that you taste.
Yes,
right.
4 options.
And what did we taste that day? Do you remember the 4 things we tasted?
Well, the Bernheim, the Larceny, Elijah Craig, unless we just had the 3.
But it was interesting to have the taste. So the guide, and we actually saw that guide. He wasn't our guide in December, but we saw him there and chatted with him. He still works there. But they walked us through each one and explained the different profiles, which was interesting.
Yeah, he was really cool.
Did a great job. So you would go through the nosing and tasting, and they have all the notes up on the wall, which it looks like a lab in there, which I think is kind of cute.
It does, and they kind of wear sort of a lab coat, like a white type.
Yeah, the person leading it looks like they're in a lab for sure. So that was really interesting. And then you have an opportunity. It's not a requirement in any way, shape, or form, but if you'd like to, you can bottle your own. And sometimes couples may do 1 bottle, but typically what I've seen is everyone bottles something. I've never. Granted, we've only done it twice, but we've also been there several times where people are coming out of this event, and you're going to take an opportunity to bottle your own. So what did you select to bottle that day?
I selected the Larceny, which we just found the bottle just a little bit ago hunting around, and it's funny that I picked it because it's 127 proof, and at that time I was still struggling with proof, but I think the fact that it was a wheated bourbon is what maybe influenced me, but yeah, it was 127.
I selected the Bernheim Wheat Whiskey because at that point in time, I'd never really heard about a wheat whiskey. I thought it was fascinating. I thought it had a very interesting taste profile, as I'm recalling. It tasted different than all the other bourbon we'd been tasting, and we had just been to Maker's Mark the day before, so that was a wheated bourbon, but we'd never actually had a wheat whiskey. So I selected Bernheim. This one, you had the little bottom label here and one on the side, and then you put the tack strip on top, and that's about it. Yes. It was really simple.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I can't remember if it was that trip or not, but I think that was the one when we got done. Did we go up to the bar upstairs?
We did. We went upstairs to the bar.
We did. After trying to put that label on, I felt like getting a drink.
And that's the only time we've been to that bar. It's a really nice bar, but we had a couple of drinks there. It was our last stop on the Bourbon Trail for that weekend.
I do have one funny memory though of that. I don't know if you remember this at the bar, but I had a client who had a bottle of mellow corn on top of their fridge. Yeah. And every 2 weeks I'd go over to clean for these people. I'd always see it. Mellow corn being there, I saw it was $19.99 in the store. I really want to buy it unless I try it. So I go upstairs. We're sitting at the bar, and I asked the bartender, so how much for 1 ounce pour? And they said $10. And I looked like $10. I said, it's $20 for the whole bottle down there. I said, I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to buy, downstairs unless I can try it. And she wouldn't let me.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what this wheat whiskey is all about. This is their Bernheim barrel proof, and it's also produced at the Bernheim Distillery, and it's the first wheat whiskey to use winter wheat as its primary grain. And that's to give it a soft, sweet flavor, which I recall from the tasting that day. Each offering is aged for 7 to 9 years, and they also non-chill filtered, and of course it's bottled at barrel proof. By definition, if you don't know about wheat whiskey, it's very similar to bourbon rules, except that it swaps out the minimum of 51% corn. This must be 51% wheat. It does not need to be made in the United States. But to be labeled straight wheat whiskey, it must be aged in new charred oak containers. And this is a straight wheat whiskey. Its mash bill is the legal 51% wheat, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. This particular barrel proof is 110 proof. It was aged 7 years, and its bottling date was 4/24/22. And shockingly, this was only $49.99. I don't think we'd get it for that today. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
All right. Wow.
It definitely looks like a wheat whiskey.
Oh, yes.
We only had the one other one, but it's very golden.
It's gold.
It's really pretty. It makes you think of wheat fields when you look at it, like the sun shining on it. It's just lovely. And it's got some great legs forming already. That was pretty quick. That gives me hope. I'm going to really like this. It's been 3 years since I've tried it.
Well,
let's see what the nose is. It's very light.
I get some baking spices.
The first thing I got was honey.
Honey, yes. I would agree.
Almost bread-like.
Well, to me, it's almost brown sugar.
Well, let's taste it. We waited almost 3 years to try this.
Yeah, this poor guy has sat around basically just waiting on
He's been
deck.
hiding in the dark, waiting for us to pull him out.
We've been pulling out old bottles and all this stuff, and this guy just raises his hand. So, anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, that's a little unexpected.
It's got more spice than I anticipated. It's quite a lot of white pepper on it.
It has a pop rock feeling to me. Those of you that remember that candy from the 70s, and I think they made it in the 80s, you put it in and all of a sudden you just I normally don't talk about the finish yet, but it's doing it on the finish. I mean, you can feel it going all the way down your throat, kind of popping like that. It's really fascinating. But I don't know, this is my first taste of the day. I'm not getting a lot on the taste other than I'm sorry.
I'm getting the honey. It's matching the nose for me.
Okay.
So the nose for me was honey and maybe a little bit of bread-like notes, and I'm definitely getting that. It's almost like a honey toast. I love toast with honey butter on it, and that's kind of what it's reminding me of. I'm going to try it again.
I'm going to have to as well.
Yeah, that's giving it, because our palates were not really warmed up. We forgot to do a warm-up drink. So
it's a spice bomb for me. And
that one wasn't as much that time for me.
It's definitely dry.
It's very dry in the back. Yeah.
It's funny. It's black pepper. Usually I get that in the back. I'm not getting that. I'm getting it kind of in the beginning and middle.
We're having a very different experience. For the barrel notes on it, I'm getting like dark toasted toast, like bread that's been toasted really dark on like level 8, which I kind of like my toast really toasty. And then that sweet note, it's very buttery for me. I like the mouthfeel. And that's why I keep thinking when you take honey and butter and mix it up and then you put it on a hot piece of toast and it just melts into all the crevices, that's what I'm experiencing on the palate. Now, when it gets to the finish, then I'm with you. It's like pop rocks, but I'm getting more of a white pepper on the finish.
For me, it's the pop rock starts at the beginning and actually doesn't finish that way. And like I said, I'm getting black pepper. I'm not getting honey. I'm not getting bread. I'm not getting any. It's confusing my palate. I almost feel like I did. I guess 3 years ago when I probably tasted this. Like, what the world am I putting in my mouth? It's not bad. I mean, maybe I need it to open up. I don't know.
Well, let's do another taste and we check out the palate again. And we can also really think about the finish on that one.
Okay.
I almost got a little lemon zest on that one, which was really interesting because I did not get that on the first couple of sips. But I'm still getting that honey butter toast. There's a real creaminess that almost reminds me of a really nice like vanilla pudding kind of a thing. Dry cinnamon notes, so definitely like the baking cinnamon notes on my palate. The finish for me is, like I said before, I mean, I'm getting that pop rocks of white pepper and a little bit of cinnamon. You're still not getting anything on the palate?
No, it's the same, and I don't dislike it. to me, it's spicy, it's pop rockish, it's black pepper. I can get a tiny bit of honey in the beginning, but other than that, I'm not getting anything. I'm not saying it's bad though.
But would you, we always ask this question because we are revisiting a bottle from 3 years ago and we're just now opening. So would you buy it again?
Yeah, I would. It's different than a lot of the stuff we have on the shelf. The price point, this was $49.95, I think. The price point, I would definitely buy a second bottle, but I think it's good. I myself, it might be something it has to open up more for me, but I'm really intrigued by the pop rock effect.
I'm intrigued by the honey and the honey toast. I did pick up a bottle of Bernheim a few months ago. I think it was the C924 edition, because they do release 3 times a year now. I think they used to release 2 times a year, but I think they're releasing 3 times a year, along with Larceny and Elijah Craig. And I saw it, and I think we were at Beverage Bar, and it was on the counter, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get that. So now I'm feeling like probably this weekend we're going to have to open that up and compare it, because this one, but I bottled this one, 3 years ago, and it's 110 proof. So I'm going to be curious to see what the other one is and compare it. I think it's pretty good. I would buy it again. I think it's tasty, so I'm getting some good notes. I'm getting some things out that I really enjoy. Just to talk a little bit about Heaven Hill again, we've been there numerous times since this. We've done a bottle and bond tour. I think that was with the Mint Julep Bardstown collection tour. We got to do a bottle and bond tour, which was great. Had a fabulous meal with it. Another time we went and did one of the executive tastings where you taste all their high-end items and do a little chocolate pairing with it. That was really fun as well. And like I said, we've done this experience twice, and we always stop in there because it's so easy and it's so convenient in Bardstown. And even if you don't want to pick up a bottle of bourbon, they have the most phenomenal food things in there. And they have the Elijah Craig line has a fabulous line of marinades and sauces, and it's just great. I mean, I cook with their items quite a bit, so we do stop in there if nothing else to get replenished cooking items.
The gift shop is definitely diversified. There's a lot going on there, from the different T-shirts. Matter of fact, the trip that we took with the Scotchy boys, I bought a mellow corn cutoff T-shirt. Told Chris Thompson if he wasn't going to get it, I was going to get it, and I did. $10.
It was on clearance.
Yeah.
It was mellow corn green, and it was sleeveless and all that stuff. But anyway, we've always enjoyed some Heaven Hill. We had an opportunity to meet Connor O'Driscoll, which was great. Talked to him about the bottled and bond and some things like that. But we love Elijah Craig. It's probably our favorite, and Larceny's probably our second favorite. But we've had great experiences there. We have.
It's a really good place, and
it's family owned.
It is
one of the very few places that is still family owned.
They haven't sold out yet, which is good.
I really don't think they have any intention of doing that.
I doubt it,
because they keep passing it down to different members of the family, which is what has to happen.
Exactly, and now the daughter and son-in-law are basically in charge, and the mom and dad are kind of there, I think, still and kicking back. Great people, though. Very good people.
Well, and I'll also say, this last time we were there in December, we checked out their museum. We had never walked in there because we've always been such a tight schedule. Yes. Phenomenal museum. I mean, it's got their history. It also has a lot of information about bourbon, about bottled and bond. It is just fantastic. So a great little movie you can watch. This is all free. You can stop in. So if you don't have an experience booked, you can stop in, visit the gift shop, walk through their museum, go upstairs to the bar and enjoy that. It's a must stop if you're in Bardstown.
That's actually a really good point. There is a lot to do there where you don't have to go in, and if you didn't want to spend any money, you could do that.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about on our Bardstown trail guide, because it's a great stop in if you don't have an appointment or you're not looking to spend a lot of money, but you're wanting to get one more stop for the day. It's perfect. Perfect.
Exactly.
So,
well, Heaven Hill, knocked it out of the park with this. It's actually tasting better to me now. I really like it. Really like your place. Look forward to the next time that we go there. Thank you for your time. And if you like this, please subscribe and follow what we do. Always remember to drink responsibly as well. Cheers.
Cheers.